This is my Flight SimPit build. It's a VR Flight SimPit or combat Flight SimPit. It's intended to feel like a cockpit when you're sitting in there with goggles on. It's not intended to look like a cockpit from the outside. I'm using these old bits from an old home gym that I acquired some years ago, and a chair from a car I favoured, an Alfa Romeo that died. It's young Flit Junior come to say hello. I had some design concepts in mind with this. One being that I wanted to be seated in an upright position as opposed to reclined. I think reclined positions are more suited for car racing SimPits. An important element of a flight combat situation is that one needs to be able to look over their shoulder and behind, and that is much more easily done seated in an upright position. I may have a go at some sim racing one day. I don't think that'll be a problem to put a little platform for some racing pedals if I ever get any. Another concept I wanted throughout this was adjustability, so everything can be moved around, up, down, where needed. So the joystick goes up and down, the throttle can be moved forward slightly to accommodate a helicopter collective, which I intend to get sometime soon. Total cost for the build was probably just under 100 New Zealand dollars. I spent $25 on some casters, $25 on a drawer slider, which I didn't end up using in the end, and the other 50 I'll put down to consumables. There was a concept that didn't come to fruition. It was a waste of time. There was an attempt at adjusting the throttle forward and backward. So here's attempt 2 at the adjustable throttle. Looked good on paper and in my head, but the build turned out to be a floppy mess, and that was abandoned.
What?
As well. I had some offcuts of some New Zealand Matai, which I'm using here to make a couple of platforms. Here's version 3 of the throttle adjustment scheme. Probably could have been an easier way I could have made this, but it worked. It took a lot of time, this build. It was some days that I had spare. Certainly I didn't have the money lying around for spending $1,000 on buying some aluminium framing. So we're getting close to the end of the build here, a bit of sanding, and you can see now the primers going on. The light is at the end of the tunnel, and I chose Go Blue, which you might be a bit shocked at. I didn't want it to try and imitate a TV stand or other home furniture. This is the colour of what I have seen some interiors of cockpits. A MiG-21, for example, I quite liked the idea of a nod to that. It's not Makita blue, as it kind of appears. An enjoyable stage of the build now, putting it all the shiny bits on, and the possibility of finishing that day in mind. But it's all used recycled bits and pieces. That home gym and the chair itself, and a lot of the screws and things for the most part. Actually had to re-drill the holes for that chair. I initially put them too far forward and wasted a lot of the adjustable range. There's some quite secure bolts holding that in place, but it can be moved up and down. I wish I'd showed this better, but it basically rotates to accommodate a helicopter collective if I get round to getting one. And then there's a bolt that can be loosened and then readjusted to alter the horizontalness of that platform. Found just 2 screws and that thing worked fine. And that MFG crosswind just slots in there. There's no need to bolt it down. It can just come in and out, and if I want to put some car racing pedals there, I'll just lift those out and put a little platform and mount the pedals on that so that my legs are raised slightly in a more reclined position, as I spoke about earlier. Looking a bit chuffed there, aren't I? Looks like I think I might have finished. Forgot to put the platform on. And there it is in situ, the new Flit SimPit. So as I said, I've got some new hardware there, the wing throttle and the stick, and some MFG pedals. It's all new hardware, having put up with an X52 for about 20 years. These are a nice upgrade, which I'm much looking forward to getting used to and mastering. So I've had a couple of years away from simming, so this is a nice re-entry stage. I've got a new PC there as well. It's and an HP Reverb VR set. All seems to be working well. It's quite frustrating putting it all together, all the programs and Windows mixed reality and all the quirks and everything, and trying to get buttons working. But I'm over it all, most of it now, and the worst is behind me, I would say. I wouldn't mind I didn't get a 4090 card for the GPU there. They've got something for a quarter of the price. They're about 4,000 New Zealand dollars, those things, which is just out of I just can't comprehend spending that much on the card. I haven't got it. So I bought, as I said, bought one for a quarter of the price, and that computer is future-proofed for the 4090 in a year or two when the prices come down from less than ridiculous. Easy to get in and out of that thing. My hips are fine. I don't have a problem with my hips, but maybe one day. Well, thank you for watching.